Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Ahora nos encontramos ante el segundo video del canal de YouTube, en la cual vamos a ver la entrevista que hice a Lutz, uno de los mejores competidores de Powerlifting de Canadá. Vamos a encontrar en toda la entrevista puntos muy importantes que te van a ayudar a ti como levantador de pesas en tu preparación, ya seas tanto un levantador iniciante o muy avanzado. ¿Sí? Te aconsejo que mires todo el video. Vamos a ir. Hola chicos, ¿qué tal? Estamos con Lutz, uno de los mejores levantadores de potencia de acá en Canadá. Vamos a hacer una pequeña entrevista y nos van a acompañar ahora justo con él. ¿Qué tal? Hi Lutz, how are you? Fine?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. Very good.
I have some questions about you. Okay, start. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So like Jose said, my name is Connor Lutz. I'm a powerlifter from Canada. I compete predominantly in the 74 kilo weight class. I've competed in the 83 kilo weight class in the past, mostly in my junior days. I got into powerlifting actually when I was playing football, American football, not soccer, for all the South American watchers.
Yeah.
I played football in university for 4 years, and during that time, I found myself enjoying weight training in the off season more than I liked playing football. And despite being the smallest person on the team, I was slowly getting to be one of the strongest. So I looked up what some of the bench press records were in the province where I live, and decided that I could potentially break the bench records. So I went to a competition and I broke the bench record. Little did I know at the time that it was only equipped powerlifting. So the record was actually equipped, but that was in a period of time when powerlifting wasn't where it was today, and the numbers weren't really what you see in today's powerlifting age. But ever since that first meet, I was hooked, and here we are today. I've been powerlifting for 7 or 8 years now since that time.
Nice. So, what are your most important achievements?
My biggest achievement as a powerlifter, I think the most memorable achievement in powerlifting would have been my first bench press world record. At one point I did have the world record as a junior 83 and actually as an open 83. Again, that was at a time when powerlifting wasn't quite as big as it is today, so the numbers weren't quite as impressive. But that first world record is something that I'll always remember. It was done in Russia, in Suzdal, Russia, at the first ever Classic World Championships. And on my third bench press attempt, I actually was given I wasn't given a start command by the head ref. Oh, sorry, I was given a start command, but I was given a 4-second pause on the chest,
Yeah.
and I missed the lift. So we challenged the lift with the jury, and the ref wasn't able to explain why it was such a long press command.
Yeah.
So I was actually given a fourth bench press attempt after missing my third. So I had 3 minutes to rest and recover myself, and I went out on the fourth attempt and I made the lift for my first ever world record. And even though many people have surpassed that lift since, that was something that they'll always remember. It was a really special moment for me. And I guess my best meet to date was this past nationals,
Yeah.
where I squatted 250, benched 192.5, and deadlifted 270 for a 521 Wilks and 722 kilo total at 74 kilos body weight. So as far as the best meet that I've done, that meet is probably something that I'll always remember because everything just kind of came together. It was just a really good day, and I hope that someday I'll be able to surpass that in the future.
Nice. What are your next goals?
Well, my first goal is to, I guess, get back to that level. I've had a few setbacks since that total, and first and foremost, I want to get back to training at the level that I was. But as far as goals, that's a tough question because as a powerlifter, as soon as you reach a goal, you want another one, and you're never really happy with where you're at. So there's a few benchmarks that I would really like to achieve. At some point in time, I would like to squat 600 pounds, 272.5. At what body weight, I don't know. I would like to bench press 200 kilos in competition. And then at some point in my life, I'd like to try and bench 225 or 495, 500 pounds. I think regardless of body weight, that's just something that I don't think many people can say that they've achieved. And at some point in my life, I would like to do that, even if I'm old and fat. It's something that I'd really like to do, because when I first started, the lift that I thought was miraculous was a 400 pounder, a 405, 185 kilo bench press, and now that's a fairly routine lift for me. And obviously the next goal is the next plate, right? So I'd like to do that at some point. It might be 10 years away, I don't know, but it's something that I would like to achieve someday.
Okay. Okay, this is an interesting question for you. Best accessories for the free dips at
Squat, bench, deadlift?
squat, bench, and deadlift.
I think largely,
For you,
for me, it's maybe going to be different than some other people. Obviously, it's something that differs person to person, right?
Yeah.
For squatting, for me personally, I find that box squatting or pause squatting is a really good accessory for me. I'm very strong in the quads, very anterior dominant. So to train myself to sit back into the hamstrings a little bit more and utilize my hips in the squat, I find is a really good accessory movement for me. That's not something that I would necessarily program for everybody. The pause squat's probably going to be a better accessory for most people. It mimics the squat pattern and trains control into the hole and positioning and all the things that are important in a big squat. So if I had to give one answer, it'd probably be pause squat. As far as bench press goes, what I found mostly is benching more allows you to bench more. So the best bench press accessory is generally bench pressing.
Close,
yeah,
maybe.
That said, I like incline pressing actually for the raw bencher. Close grip is a good accessory as well. And similar to the squat, a extenuated pause, a 3-count pause bench press, or something that again focuses on positioning and staying tight and maintaining that position are going to be really important movements. And again, which one you pick is going to depend on scenario, what the lifter's strengths and weaknesses are, what their movement pattern looks like, and stuff like that. And as far as the deadlift, I think probably the best accessory for any lifter is going to be the opposite stance deadlift. So if you're a sumo deadlifter, I think training the conventional deadlift is valuable for your sumo deadlift. Some people can get away with doing the same movement over and over, but I think they do a good job in complementing each other. So where the sumo is weak in movement pattern, the conventional kind of trains that same pattern and vice versa. For each individual lift, I think the paused sumo deadlift is extremely valuable just off the floor, and again, maintaining position, learning to be patient off the floor. And for conventional deadlift, I think that deficit deadlift is probably the best accessory. For a similar reason, it teaches you, positioning off the floor, and it allows you to, by lengthening the range of motion, it teaches you to pull through the spot where you generally get stuck. So lots of times in conventional, it comes really fast off the floor and then it gets stuck to lockout because you're rounded over and your positioning's bad, and that's just kind of the nature of the movement. But when you're pulling from a deficit, it teaches you to have more speed, and more speed off the floor is going to carry you further through that part where it gets stuck. That being said, lots of times by strengthening the hips with a sumo deadlift is going to help that lockout in your conventional. So if I had to give one answer, it would be the opposite stance to your competition stance.
This is the last question. Yeah. This is a special question also. Tips for powerlifters that just start.
So if I could tell myself one thing back 7 years when I first started, it would be to be patient. And that's something that I still struggle with today. You always want to be better and you're never happy with where you're at, and you always want to push to be as good as you can be and as strong as you can be right now today. But if you're patient and every day you're just doing a little bit more than you did last time, and you got the big picture in mind where I want to be better at nationals next year, or I want to be better at worlds next year, rather than I have to put 10 kilos on my squat by tomorrow, you can stay healthy and make continuous progress over time. And by being patient, you can become more proficient in the movement pattern. You're not overloading the movement where you're training yourself in a bad position. You're grinding all the time. You want to be really proficient at the movement and then just be patient, making slow, continual progress time over time over time, so that by, you know, a year tomorrow, you have 10 kilos on your total in 10 kilos in each lift, for example, which is 30 kilos on your total, which is really only a kilo a month. And that seems really small progress, but if I put a kilo on my bench press every single month for a whole year, I'd be really happy.
Yeah.
So just being patient and slowly over time getting better and better, and not forcing yourself to put a bunch of weight on and be better tomorrow. Think about the big picture.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Bien chicos, este fue nuestro segundo video del canal de YouTube. Espero que les haya gustado y compártanlo con todas aquellas personas que les gusta este hermoso deporte que es el powerlifting. Acá abajo dejaré en la descripción dejaré los enlaces de Lutz del gimnasio, de Kyrie Barbell y de mi persona. ¿Sí? Muchísimas gracias, nos vemos en un siguiente video el jueves, como todos los jueves. Ahí nos vemos.